All right, all right, all right. You know what day of the week it is? It is Wednesday. And don't be fooled, just because we showed up 15 minutes late, that didn't mean we were not coming. Beautiful thing about when you're in control, those sorts of things happen. Technology was not our friend, but that does not matter anymore. Listen, you know what time it is. It is Wednesday night where we are coming here to empower you. You're watching and tuning into Empower with Shronda, where you are empowered mind, body, and spirit. And guess what? This entire season, we're talking about all on how you can be your own a level up. Listen, we skipped last week. How many of you missed me? I missed you. We had a week off, but we are back. We have an absolute dynamic guest tonight who is going to be sharing some information that can really help you truly level up. Listen, we talked about a bunch of things, right? We've talked about how you need the confidence to build your business, the skill sets you need to build your business, all of those things. We even talked about business credit. But of course, in having a business, we need to know that it is important to market our business, and that takes strategy. So tonight we have a young lady who is an entrepreneur herself. She's a social media marketing strategist, and she helps people take their business to the next level. And guess what? Tonight you can find out exactly how you can take your business to the next level. Take hold, take heed of the information. That's enough about me, right? Again, you're watching Empower with Shronda. Mind, body, and spirit, be your own level up on Wednesday night. This is episode 8. My. Time, it definitely flies when you are having fun. If you are not already tuning into the Dropping Knowledge Network, you better get on top of it, right? Get on top of it, because guess what? There, you're going to find tools and things that you need to truly level up. Yes, I constantly use the word level up because there's no other way to talk about it, right? We need an endorsement or a sponsorship of Sierra's song, Level Up. Let's talk about it. On the network, we have people that we've interviewed that's showing you how you can make money off of Airbnb without ever even owning any property. So guess what? If you're not tuned in, you are missing out. Let's go ahead and jump into this amazing show on tonight. We have Shakita Payne, right? An amazing boss lady. Came across her and could not be more excited to have her as a guest on our show tonight, because Shakita, like most people we've heard from on this podcast, is an entrepreneur, but she did so by leveraging social media marketing. And she is here to tell you about how she built her brand, created a marketing strategy. It can also help you do the same thing. So let's jump into this amazing information on tonight. Hey, Shakita girl, welcome to the show.
Hey, love. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I am extremely excited to have you on the show. As I said, technology wasn't our friend, but it wasn't going to stop us from making it happen. We are here, and we are ready to give the people what they want and what they need. So I gave a very brief introduction of you, but I could never do your story the same justice that you can. So let's start with there. Shakita, tell the people about you. Who are you?
Well, my name is Shakita. I'm a social media strategist. I know you could probably tell from the accent, I am not from the US. I'm from all the way in Barbados. Sunny Barbados. I help my customers to make 5 and 6 figures online as well as offline. That's basically who I am. I am your compass to get the bag. That's basically what I do. Yes.
That is absolutely awesome. Yes, we hear where you are. And so are you helping people all over the world or just where you are? Tell us about that.
I am helping persons all over the world. Once you have a business, I can show you how to use social media to capitalize and to market that business and get to that money and that coin.
Let's go get the coins, because that is what it's all about. I had something interesting happen, on Facebook today. Made a post, and it was just telling people, if God gave you the vision to Go and find, create a business. He will give you the clients, and somebody has some interesting things to say about it, but it's all about perspective. And I talk about that because I know that you have your own business and you didn't start off as an entrepreneur. So
Yeah.
how long have you been an entrepreneur?
I actually started a small business all the way back in 2012. That was
Oh.
more focused on cosmetics. I had what I would call a life-changing situation in which I just asked myself, if the Lord took me off of this earth today, would I be satisfied with what I was given? Right? Would I have taken that talent and really use it? And my answer was no. So I went almost on this journey of finding myself and trying to understand what God wanted me to do, what was my purpose. I went into a full-time job. I did a 9 to 5 while helping entrepreneurs to grow their own business, right? So here is me in a 9 to 5 telling you how to grow your business, how to capitalize on it, how to stick in it. And hey, I'm not doing that, right? So I moved from one business into another, into a management position. And when COVID hit and everybody at work was talking about, hey, I going home and eat some snacks. Shakita, what you going home and do? I can make some money because I'm not coming back. And here I am today. Still have my business, still running, still super successful. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So you're saying you were in a full-time job in the middle of COVID. You had started up this business and one day said, I'm not coming back tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
In the middle of COVID.
Yep. Yep.
So how many months is your business now? How many months is the marketing strategy? It's called Shack Post, correct?
Yeah,
So
yes.
how long has Shack Post been in business?
I only started last year, June. Yes. Only started last year, June, officially doing lives, actually coming out of what would be considered like my shell. I always love to talk to people. I always love to see entrepreneurs move from that struggling stage to, hey, I'm making that bag, I'm making that money. So when I started, as I said, when I started, I started to mentor persons. And I had a few clients here and there, but it was only when COVID came that for some reason I got the, you can best jump now. You're already in it, you can best jump. So I took that leap of faith and I said, you know what? If God wants me to do it, He will provide some type of way for me to do it. So that's what I did.
That's absolutely amazing. It's funny because I didn't know that. I knew that you worked a job. I knew that you left the job, but I didn't know that it was one day I was in the middle of work, like, yeah, I'm going to work because I'm not
Yeah.
coming back tomorrow.
Yes.
Congratulations to you.
Yeah.
But it's ironic that you brought that up because to the same comment earlier, the person basically was saying, go tell that to the people who are struggling in COVID. And my response to him was, there are people who are thriving,
Yes.
even in the midst of COVID. So you walked away from your job in June of last year and you have been excelling and you've been helping other people build their business. I mean, how did you even come about this? Like, who just one day says, I'm going to work for myself and I'm going to help other people launch their businesses? How did this come about for you?
I think one of the things is that you have to do as an entrepreneur is listen, right? When something speaks to your heart, number one, you have to listen to it, right? When I started my business, it was not that I came into my full-time job and I started it. I actually had another job before that. And my ex-business partner was like, hey, you are always great in marketing. I need you to help me to transform my business. I said, cool, no problem. I did not ask for a cent. I just was like, okay, I'm going to help you. In 2 weeks, she moved out of her space into a massive location with 6 workers. So everyone was like, tell me, how are you doing this? Tell me, how did you do that so quickly? And she was like, I have somebody helping me with my marketing. She came to me and she was like, Shakita, would you help others? I was like, nope, I do not want this. She was like, no, you are good at this. Do this. And for the time I started, the customers just started coming. One person referred somebody else and somebody else. And here I am today. In less than a year, I've been able to grow my page to 4,000 persons. That's less than a year. And be able to create a 6-figure business. I would never think. I always remember the first week I came home, I made 300 and somebody less than my salary. And I was like, wait, you can't make money home? And as I got into it more, I realized, hey, this is lucrative and I get to live my passion. I get to help other entrepreneurs who are struggling, who may be sad, who may be, as you say, defeated in COVID. You know, a person saying, you know, the worst thing that ever happened to me was COVID. The best thing that ever happened to me was COVID. Yeah.
It's a blessing. You know, amen. And I'm extremely happy for you, you know, definitely giving you praises for even being able to say that. I remember being a little hesitant about it because you feel so bad because so many people had such a bad experience in
Yes.
COVID, but there were so many people that have a story that is completely opposite. And it was the thing that made people kind of take that leap, take that step out on faith to themselves. And it sounds like that was something that you went ahead and did, even in the midst of COVID. And so we're not even at June yet. So it is not even a year. And you've already made six figures in this business.
Yes, yes. And I know people say six figures, but when you start to generate funds and you get to that six figures, it doesn't even feel like six figures anymore. It's like, what can I do next? What's next for me? What do you have in store for me? Because I want to do more. I mean, so many of my friends tell me, hey, you've been doing it, you've been on lives, you've been doing this. And I'd be like, no, I don't feel like if I'm like halfway through my journey yet. I feel like I'm no beginning, I'm no starting, and there's so much more and so much more amazing possibilities for me.
That is absolutely amazing. Again, huge, huge, huge congratulations to you. And so tell us about some of the people that you've serviced, how you've helped them, and maybe some of their success stories.
All right, see, I'll recall something that I did last night. I think entrepreneurs are very touchy and go when it comes to pricing. We are always terrified to charge our worth, right? So I had one of my customers in my membership. She called me. She was like, Shakita, I want to do a sale. The price is usually $80. I'm going to do it for 50. And I was like, why? And she was like, oh, I need to at least get 10 persons booked. And I'm like, but why 50? Don't you think you're worth more? I said, add something to it, charge 100. Right? She was like, I don't know. I said, charge $100. Send her the email. She had to get 10 bookings. She got 5 from her email alone. And that, instead of her charging $50, obviously she charged 100, and she ended up at $500 compared to $250. And that was just by sending out one email. Right? So I think that is something that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, and I try to address it very early on. Mindset. You have to charge your worth. If not, you are going to struggle in your business. Do not come in with the mentality that, hey, the market is saturated. There's nothing called a saturated market. If there's a place for you, there's a place for you. Full stop. There are a lot of coaches, there are a lot of business owners, and persons who are like, oh, you're going into that market, it's saturated. How? There's a place for me. So you have to work on mindset. Before you do anything as an entrepreneur, you have to start to train your brain to think completely different than what the everyday man will see. Somebody say, oh, that's oversaturated. I say, hey, that is an opportunity there, and I need to see how I can dip into it.
That is awesome. So did you know, a lot of the people that I talk to, it seems like they walked literally into their purpose. Wham! Just one day
Yes.
it hit them, and I found what it was. So when you started this business, obviously people were telling you were really good at it. Did you take time before saying I'm not coming back tomorrow to do research and all of these things, or you just went from I know this is what I want to do, I quit?
I went to the point that I know this is what I want to do. I know that I'm really good at it, because what I did, I started with one person. I used that method on one person. Used it on a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. This is not a fluke. You know, you think that you do something once and, oh, you got through with it. Maybe I can't really duplicate it. But then when you start duplicating it and you're to the 50th person, it's like, no, you have something here. It's time to go. I think that in your heart, you know when it is. It was my time to go. I was ready.
So
you know, you're at some of those jobs that you're ready. I was ready.
So how many clients did you have under your belt before you quit?
I had a good set. I had my membership set up, so I know my membership funds, you know, they were coming in and they're fixed,
Mm.
right? I have my classes, my courses, my ebooks, right? So I knew that I could sustain myself. Let me say that I could sustain myself
Mhm.
before I go. I know sometimes they say you should at least have a 6 month security. You know, you need that safety net. Jump, just jump.
Okay.
Mm,
And I think I remember, I did the lineup of who's going to be on the show, and
mm,
it's been a bit since we
mm,
talked. But I
mm,
do remember when we had a conversation, you mentioned something about your family and supporting this entrepreneur thing,
mm,
right? Let's
mm.
talk about that because that is something that a lot of people struggle with when it comes to entrepreneurship.
I personally think that everybody will not see your dream and everybody will not see what you can do. I could say that I grew up with my cousins and they were entrepreneurs and I saw how they function. And that is something that stays with me until today, right? They showed me how to sell, they showed me a little bit how to market their particular products and services. But my direct family, um, I think they were quite unsure. Like, you're sure about this. You're sure you want to do this? Yeah, I'm like 100% sure, right? So it's not all the time that they see where you want to go, but as they start to see you getting towards it, they start to think a lot differently. I don't want entrepreneurs to be affected by what persons say. We have to understand that their level of thinking is going to be completely different. Most persons have been raised go school, learn, get a good job. Go school, learn, get a good job. It's very difficult to start to change that level of thinking. And we as entrepreneurs, we don't think like that.
That's That's amazing. And the audience will probably think you've been having a conversation with me because I say that all the time. But guess what? I have never, ever, ever, ever said that to Shakita.
Mm.
And here's the reality of this conversation and many of the other conversations that we've had. Many people don't support our entrepreneur endeavors and they don't understand them. So,
Correct.
what advice would you give to the person whom they want to go out into entrepreneurship where they already have and their family isn't supporting them?
I would tell them you have to stay strong with what you know. You know that this is going to work for you. I do not care who come. Once the Lord don't come down and tell me it's not going to work, I know that it's going to work. And I always believe that He will not put something in your brain and put it in your spirit that you cannot produce. It means you might go work a little harder. You might go struggle a little bit. But do not look at those persons and listen to them, because we must understand, for generations and generations, sorry, persons have been telling them, go school, get a good job, go school, get a good job, go school, get a good job. They can't tell you nothing more than to go to school and get a good job, right? Sometimes you just need to shut down that thinking and, remember that. I have this little saying in my head, especially when negativity comes in. God is preparing a beautiful palace in my mind, and there's no place in my mind for that level of thinking. So I think as an entrepreneur, you have to literally build up yourself mentally for sure, because you're going to have a lot of trials. I always say the biggest trial is with yourself, because sometimes we're doing something and these thoughts start to creep in. It can't work, it can't function, you're not going to be successful. No, you don't have any. I always say you don't have any room at the end. I don't have any room at the end for those kind of thoughts, for that level of thinking. If somebody tells me something negative, I just say, okay, that's no problem, but I'm going to get it done. You can guarantee it. Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. And
Mm,
it is. And I enjoyed these for my audience. If they don't know,
mm,
none of our questions are scripted.
no.
I don't write them out beforehand. I don't give any questions to those who attend, because what I want to see is that a natural, fluent conversation happens. And the one thing that we have found in common, or when you talk to any entrepreneur, they say that, right? We say, many of us were taught to go to school, get good grades to get a good job. And then how many of us get that job and your bills are still like, so I know you're going to bring some more money home, right? So that is absolutely amazing. And it is one of those things, as Shakita talked about, where fear creeps in because we've been programmed to the only way that you can make money is through a 9 to 5, through having a gig. And so when someone hears entrepreneurship, they're like, girl, go get a job and stop playing, you know,
Yes.
because they don't know, or they don't really understand what that really means. So thank you for that. I had no clue that you just was like, I'm not coming back tomorrow. So that's a really, really, really great journey and a great story. So let's jump in. Let's talk more about the business, right? We're talking about being your own level up, and we want to show people not only did Shakita walk away from her job, she started her own business, but Shakita helps she helps create marketing, which means you started for yourself. What would you say first to the person who's just now getting started and they have no marketing strategy at all? What would you say to that person?
I would say the first thing you need to do is to get to know your customer. We always think we know our customer. We think we know what they want. And what we automatically do a lot as business owners, we start to get things that we like. So if I'm a boutique owner, for example, I start to buy outfits I like. We don't look and see what our customer is interested in, the colors they like. You need to literally sit down and examine your customers' needs and wants. We always forget that, right? We want to offer all this amazing packaging. We want bubbles and bows, these big boxes, and your customer, there's somebody that they think about the environment. They don't want that stuff. So the first thing you need to do, even before you start to think about a marketing strategy, break down your customer. Understand what hurts them. I always say you are not going to go to the supermarket if your cupboards and your shelf and every room in your house is filled with food. You're just not going to do it, right? So you need to understand what is hurting them, what's frustrating them, things they don't like, things they like. You also have to understand they aren't you. They don't understand your business like you do. So a lot of terminologies persons use, especially like nail techs, like overlaid, polygel. I'm like, you do remember that I'm the client and I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Educate me, right?
Mm-hmm.
An informed person is going to be an informed buyer. They're going to be more likely to purchase your product if they can understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, all this kind of great stuff.
Okay, and that is very pivotal, right? One of the things that the heading title of this is client acquisition. We've heard the word tribe, find your tribe,
Yes.
communicate with your audience.
Mm-hmm.
What if you have no clue who your audience is? How do you find your tribe?
I would say if you do not know who your audience is, right, you need to start to go and do some research. You need to hit things like Google Trends and Facebook Insights, and you need to find out who they are. I think Facebook Insights and Google Trends, they do an amazing job at actually breaking down your audience. They will tell you what movies they like, right? So if you know that you want to target females between a certain age, you can actually go and you can put in the information. They will tell you the pages they like, the comedians, the book, the authors, all that kind of great stuff. And then you can form your customer based on that information so that you're informed and you know a lot more about them.
So Facebook Insight and Google
Trends.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look, this is free tips and value, right? Things and places to start, because sometimes we don't all know it, right? Maybe our skill set is writing, or our skill set is acting, or our skill set is making things, but that's what we're good at. So we know nothing about where to go to find this information to connect with our audience. So that's absolutely amazing. I hope that they're sitting down on the other side with pen and piece of paper, because anytime you see me looking over here, I'm definitely writing. I wrote Facebook Insight and Google Trends, right, as a starting point to understand who your audience is, what they like, and really where you should be.
Yes.
So, on the introduction, we talk about you being a social media marketing strategist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What does a social media marketing strategist do?
All we do is that we do work on the social media platform. So we're trying to attract buyers to your page on social media. What we try to do is that we try to get you leads, and not only just leads. It's all about targeted leads. So for example, you may be into fitness and persons think it stops there. No, it does not. We need to dig down deeper so that you get in front of your ideal customer. So for example, if you sell yoga mats, right? We don't just want to get in front of women, right? We want to get in front of a particular type of woman, sorry. So for example, you could be selling yoga mats to women that are no, or they have just given birth, right? And you may be selling your mats to these particular individuals. What we do, we examine that customer, right? We look and see where he or she is at on social media, what pages they're at, right? Who they like, right? And then we make sure that your product shows up in front of that customer so he or she will be able to purchase that product.
All right, awesome. And so, are there certain social media platforms that you help your audience focus on? Are you, more concentrated on Instagram? It's across all platforms. Can you talk about that?
I usually dabble in Facebook as well as Instagram. I dabble in YouTube a bit, but not as much. But I really focus on those particular platforms. Those platforms are very visual. It's very easy to communicate your message compared to if you're on Twitter, you have to put it in a certain amount of characters. Instagram is all about beautiful pictures and attracting your customers. And I find it's very easy to convert someone from a picture or from what we consider content, because content is literally currency on social media. You are giving your customer content, and in return they are purchasing your products and your services. So although a lot of persons look at content like, hey, I can just post something today, that's not what it's about. I see a lot of business pages, they make this really big mistake of talking about them. It's almost like talking to a narcissist. Like if you're talking about me, I'd be like, yeah, it's just about me. It's only about me. It's about me. And that is one of the biggest mistakes I actually see on person's social media platform as I go through their feed. You can do that if you have a massive marketing budget, sorry, and you're like Fashion Nova, and you can give celebrities your product. If you do not, you need to focus on educating your customer. You want to post at least 80% educational content and 20% direct sales. You do not want to be bombarding persons. You have to remember everybody have their lifestyle, right? What you're trying to do is to push yourself within their lifestyle that is not interruption. Sometimes you watch these YouTube videos and you're like, come on, I just want to get the video. I am clicking right past that ad because it's interrupting your lifestyle, unless it's something that you want to actually see in an ad. So you need to make sure that when you put yourself into customer lives, it is a smooth transition. Like, hey, yeah, I'll get that product, compared to you're stopping me from doing something.
That's absolutely
Mhm.
amazing. So earlier today, you were talking, and I wrote down a question as you were going through this.
Mhm.
So we're talking about the 80% educational, the 20% direct sales, and we're easing our way into our clients' lives. So in your role, do you just provide a marketing strategy where you give your clients the tips and tricks on how to do it, or do you actually create content for them?
I actually give them the tips and tricks to do it, because I feel as though if you're going to open another business, you should be able to utilize that education. I think education as business owners, it is so important. Even when I started my business back in 2012, I had this philosophy that if it has something to do with my business, I had to learn it. So I started to learn about marketing and I became absolutely addicted. I am that person that will be up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, getting up at 6, right? Watching marketing videos, listening to other persons. I think it's really important that we understand we are entrepreneurs. We are always growing, right? What I did the first week of business is definitely not what I'm going to be doing next week, right? We are always growing. So you always have to be open to other person's point of view, how they see it. It's important to have a mentor. I think mentors should have mentors, right? Social media is so vast. There are always new things coming up all the time, and you need to be able to jump on top of it. And sometimes that means investing in yourself and getting someone who may know it better than you.
I am absolutely amazed at this conversation. And not because I didn't think that you were going to give great value, but because on this entire season, I've had different people come on, and everybody has either been an entrepreneur or on their way to. And without question, you guys all end up saying the same thing, just in a different way. And everybody has stressed getting a mentor, right? Everybody has stressed getting a mentor. Not making a mistake of, I'm going to just jump out of the window and do this, because then it fails and then you feel like you can't make money, and building your own business. And I think that that is very key, right? For those who are plugging in, listen, you're listening to Empower with Shronda. I am your host, Shronda McDaniel, and we have on special guest Shakita Payne. She is a marketing strategist where she helps you build your business and build your brand. We are live on Facebook and YouTube every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. But these do go up on all podcast platforms, right? All you have to do is look up Empowered with Shronda. And tonight we are getting some great nuggets. But the beautiful thing about all of this is if you go back and you listen to anything that you missed, every single guest has given you literally golden nuggets for free. Shakita just said something. Shakita said, I liked marketing, and so I stayed up all night learning about it because I was, starting a business. We can't go start up a business and not want to know everything about that business there is to know. And so I am definitely over here, despite the different number of people I talk to, despite my own journey, I am over here drinking it up if nobody else is, because this is amazing information. I do have a couple other things that I want to talk about, but before we go deeper, right? Are there any? So you've told us how we need to get started, and that is getting to know our customers, and you even gave us 2 places to go.
Yes.
What other free tips would you like to give tonight, or where can they get some free information or tips from you?
Yes. If you go to my website, www.shoppost.com, I actually have a completely free, it's not going to cost you a cent, a free checklist on how to actually build a profitable business. I know most persons want to know, hey, I want to start a business, but of course I want to make some money. I want it to be profitable. I want it to grow, right? So that checklist will definitely be able to assist you in doing that. I must say that you need to become obsessed with your growth. So my word for April is growth. I want you guys to become obsessed with your business. If you need to learn something, seek out someone that's able to help you.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So if someone were to reach out to you, right? Tell us exactly what services you provide, and maybe what are some different things that they would be able to expect that Shakita could help them with.
Alrighty, I provide one-on-one consultations. Those are quite detailed. You come into my session, we do a recording of it, so you definitely get to listen back to it later to see where you need to adjust your bearings. I also offer classes. My class this month was how to start to make sales on Instagram. That's completed, so we're moving on to plan to 10K. Well, you're not really making the figures that you want to make by not understanding your numbers, how to understand your conversion rates, and how you could literally calculate how much you're going to make each month based on those rates. We are also going to a bit about Facebook ads, because I know you guys run a lot of Facebook ads and you don't get back anything from it, which is kind of scary. So I'll be going into those massive mistakes. So that is my class for this month. I also have a membership. My membership is called my Shmoney Elite, where we get together every Friday for 2 to 3 hours and we go through a particular topic. So you can check that out as well. I also have courses, ebooks, and planners on my page. You just need to go to Shot Post on Instagram or type in www.shotpost.com.
Well, that's absolutely amazing. I can learn free tips. And did you say that there is a class coming up to talk about the mistakes that we make with Facebook ads?
Yes, y'all made some
Whoa, that's
Y'all
gonna
made
be
some
a money
mistakes.
saver for some people because those Facebook ads, you know, they'll creep up on you how much you're spending on them quick, and turning around Facebook ads conversions feel way different than turning them around on Instagram, right? Don't know why they're so different, but they're two completely different platforms, and they can be two platforms that make you feel like you're paying in a completely different ball game. One is football, one is basketball. And so you go through that with customers so they understand the differences, how I leverage Instagram versus how I leverage Facebook.
Yep. What the biggest mistakes that you guys make when running ads? You run direct sale ads to persons that don't know you exist, right? So I've never heard of you. I've never seen you in my life, and you just walk up to me and say, "Hey, can I have $600?" You're not. If somebody walk up to you right now and say, "Hey, I can have $600," you're gonna be like, "Pardon?" But you do it to your customers all the time. They don't know who you are. You're probably targeting the wrong persons in the first place, and you just walk on up to them and say, "Yeah, give me your money." That's why you don't convert at a high rate. Yep.
Those are good. Those are good nuggets. So one of your tips to us before was, of course, to get to know our audience. So if a person were to do one-on-one consulting with you or sign up for your classes, should they expect that you're also getting an understanding from them what their audience is like so that you can help them to do those things? Or is there homework that you expect someone to do before coming to you?
Well, both. Homework in the sense of I want you to come in with an open mind, because I'm going to break down the things that you think are normal and you should be doing, and I'm going to be telling you, no, that's not what you want to do. So I want you to come in with an open mind, but always come into work, because my classes are quite jam-packed in terms of information and content. I am not allowing you to leave there without saying, "Hey, I just got a nugget, I just got a diamond, like, yeah, I'm about to go to work on that." You will always have homework after my classes.
Okay, cool. And you shared earlier on that you're located in Barbados. And so what time of day are your classes normally? Are they live sessions? Are they recorded sessions? Let's talk about that a little bit.
I have a mixture. I have ones that are recorded. For the ones that are live, I usually do 8 p.m. That is like Atlantic Standard Time here, right? Usually you do 8 p.m. and those are recorded as well. So if you miss a class, you'll still get it. You'll still get the information.
And for the person who's like, Shronda, I'm not up on my time zones, what time is it for you right now?
Right now in Barbados, it is 10 minutes to 9.
All right. So it is 10 minutes to 9, right? I am on Central Time. So for those of you who watching, we breaking this down for you, right? At Central Time, it is 7:53. So it is almost 8 o'clock. She's only 1 hour ahead, which means at 7 p.m., you can tap into this information, right? At 7 p.m. And here's the thing, she's 1 hour ahead, but means she's also the same exact time as Eastern. Right? Means we have no excuses on what, is going on and how we can tap into getting what we need. The one thing that I felt was super, super, super beneficial to bring Shakita on today's show is because we've talked all about starting businesses, but we have no business without clients. Right? Shakita not only has a business where she's a marketing strategist, but she is everything that she embodies, meaning she's a full-time entrepreneur, right? And she's helping people be able to do that by also building their business and building their brand. So Shakita, as we prepare to wrap up tonight's show, 2 things. If you want to leave any closing remarks for our guests, please do leave those closing remarks, and then let's talk one more time about where they can find you.
One of my closing remarks would be start listening to persons and take that jump. The only thing I've ever regretted, and I know a lot of entrepreneurs say this, is not starting earlier. If I could start earlier, if I could turn back the hands of time, honey, I would definitely have started my business way earlier, right? But everything in its time. Remember, you can find all of my information at www.shoppost.com, www.shoppost.com, www.shoppost.com.
That's absolutely amazing. She gave you two things, right? Stop listening to other people. She wished she had started her business earlier. We cannot go backwards on time, but take the jump. You can find Shakita on shackpost.com. It is there on the screen. So for those who will not be watching the actual audio when you're listening in from a podcast, that's www.shackpost.com. So SHACKPOST.com. And it's Shack Post on Instagram as well. Thank you so very much for bringing these valuable tips. I am in this. Earlier today, I was like, my head is going to explode. Let me tell you about the phase of my life I'm in. So I'm currently working with the mindset, clarity, and branding coach, right? And it's out of your world, and they'll start making you look at other stuff differently, but making you want to bust out into the world with other things. I attended a boot camp earlier today that's designed for people who are looking to launch their businesses and do all of these things. And now I'm talking to you, and I'm like, well, none of that is marketing, and I'm going to need her. And my head is going to explode because exactly what you said, you want to know all of the information, get the mentorship that you need in order to build your business. If you guys are out there listening and there is that part of you that wants to be an entrepreneur, we cannot move into entrepreneurship without having the knowledge. Set yourself up for success so that you're not running away from it, saying that it doesn't work. Again, thank you, Shakita, for being on today's show. If you can hang out for me and for just a little bit in the back studio, I am going to close out the show. I cannot be more grateful to have you, and you definitely dropped some great nuggets for our guest tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, guys, listen. I'm excited. You never know what you're going to get with the guests because, again, I don't give them questions. And I love that we end up getting the same reoccurring message when it comes to certain elements and essential things that you need to build your business. But tonight, Shakita revealed some things like maybe the very first thing that we will look past is marketing. And we really don't understand how much time and that we actually need to make an investment in that actual marketing. Many of us don't do it. And so this was a great live to share with you how and why. And then we have someone that you can reach out to learn more information. Most people always give you some free tips or something you can check out. I'm not here just for show, even though I like being here, right? I absolutely love it. But my goal each week, each day, whether it's a live and it's my podcast or just a random live on my page, it is to bring value. To bring value to our audience, because guess what? There are so many people in businesses. There's so many people that want to be entrepreneurs. There's so many people that are thriving towards their success. And maybe some people who aren't because of fear. And what we have to be able to do is give information. One of my personal mentors says, we are in an information age. Back in the day, there was no Google. There was no Facebook. There weren't all of these tools where we have tools on top of tools on top of tools to help us do research to become bigger, better, and greater. This season, we're talking about 100% of how you can be your own level up. Everybody that we've talked to this season has given you those tips, and they have been that for themselves. You don't have to sit back, sit down, and watch as other people win and think that you can't do it too, because guess what? You can. You've seen it for yourself with everybody that we've had on the show. I've had fun as always. Listen, we're going to be back next week for episode 9. I can't believe we're already coming up on episode 9. We'll be back next week with episode 9, right? Giving you even more tools. Make sure you go back and watch the previous episodes if you have already missed them. They are all available for replay, and I promise you they won't disappoint. I will be talking to y'all all night. I'm not going to do that, right? Listen, again, if you are not already doing so, make sure that you get in the loop. Of course, you can find me on my Facebook page, the wonderful, amazing Shronda McDaniel. That is me, right? We're on Facebook on the Dropping Knowledge Network, and coming very, very, very soon, the Dropping Knowledge Network is launching a website. We are on YouTube under the Dropping Knowledge Network. On the Dropping Knowledge Network, you will find tons of other podcasts that give you free tips and tools to help you go start up your business, right? We no longer will say we don't have the information because it has all been given to us for free. I look forward to talking to you all next week. You guys all stay safe, be blessed, and I love you with the love of God. Chat later.